Hello, and welcome back to our third Dev Bloq, a series to talk about what's new in the game, showcase some behind the scenes, and to answer community questions. I'm Josh, the game director for Saber here at Beat Games. Let's jump right in. Starting off with our most recent release, the legendary band Metallica. Metallica is an American heavy metal band formed in 1981 in LA by vocalist and guitarist James Hetfield and drummer Lars Ulrich. Slashing their way through the decades, they're known for fast tempos, instrumental ballads, and aggressive musicianship that have made them one of the founding Big Four bands of metal. This pack has been surreal to work on and is our most ambitious music pack to date, featuring 17 tracks and an hour and 40 minutes of music. If you want to play all the songs on all difficulties, you're looking at over 8 hours of new content. We're coming at you with some of the biggest and most favourite hits, like Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, One, Fuel, Seek and Destroy, Hit the Lights, The Unforgiven, and of course Master of Puppets. And that's not even half of them. They are all full-length tracks, some clocking in over 7 minutes long. The fast tempos and killer solos mean you're all in for a serious stamina challenge. Which track are you planning to dive into first? Of course, with any music pack, our art team always put together an amazing environment. Our Metallica environment is envisioned to take our players to a real live Metallica show. Each environment element includes its own metal supporting beams. Every single beam and structure piece can be fully controlled by the level designers, and so we could assemble them into different stage setups, even sometimes resembling real setups the band have done. The scaffolds have lasers, tiny light bulbs, and controllable lighting depth to add that finesse to their look. What's Metallica without some effects? And so we have elevated the fire tech, full controllable lightning strikes, and the ability to change the panels to this scratched look for those intense moments. All panels also use our collision tech introduced earlier this year. You may have even spotted the menu takeover, accompanied with lightning effects and sounds to help prepare you for taking on the Metallica pack. Every song contains arc and chain notes, and all the songs are available to play in multiplayer, so you can compete with friends for the top score. We've also introduced something unique for this pack, in which the boost color set for every single level is different. So for a song such as Nothing Else Matters, you'll be playing with some more moody blue lighting, whereas for Fuel, you'll see a rich palette of reds and orange. Let us know what your favorite set is. Talking of new features, let's dive into some others we've introduced. Starting with an update to color overrides, a feature that's been around for a while and utilized by players with color blindness, or those who just like to use a familiar color set. It's been easy using the color override system, but the problem is that in doing this override, even all the lighting in the environment changes to, say, blue and red, which isn't always desired. Our new color type override option lets you select notes only, which means only the notes will be forced to your selection. You can play with your chosen colors while the environment lighting is still dynamic, for what that pack was originally visioned to be. Super useful if you want to enjoy all the unique colors for the Metallica pack. In even more exciting news, with the introduction of the Metallica pack, we are actually introducing a brand new game mechanic. At times it might feel a little subtle, but it has a big impact in key moments and songs. I'm referring to something we're calling variable note jump speed, or VNJS for short. This allows level designers to speed up and slow down the notes as they approach you. You see, for years now when playing a song, the notes arrive to you all at one speed. For most cases this is fine, but there have been many examples of songs that have, say, a slower section and a fast section. A key example would be Freebird from Rock Mixtape, or the Rockefeller Skank from Electronic Mixtape. If the speed is too slow, the notes will all be packed together and are quite hard to read. If they are too fast, then you have less time to react to them. So we always try to find a middle ground. Because we could only choose one speed per song, it usually means we need to have the notes match the speed of the fast moments, which makes the slower parts feel rushed, which hasn't been the best experience. VNJS now allows us to smoothly transition between different speeds for key moments in songs. When playing the song One by Metallica, for example, the speed of the notes for the first half of the song are now appropriate for the tempo and feeling. When you enter the much more intense section and that shredding solo, The notes speed up to match the intensity, and the gap between the notes becomes larger to make it more comfortable to read. VNGS has been implemented into all Metallica songs and will be a key mechanic we use going forward from here. Keep an eye out as we may even introduce it to some of the past releases. You can also utilize this new mechanic as part of our 3D beatmap editor. Feel free to give it a try. And we're still not done there with new features either. In the last few dev blocks, I've been teasing something called controller profiles. I'm excited to share that they have now been included with our Metallica update and can be found under the game options. Controller profiles introduce 3 new pieces of functionality. Firstly, as stated by the name, they support profiles. If you have multiple people who share the same headset but have different controller settings, these can now be saved individually. Or perhaps you like to use different controllers and have different settings for each. Secondly, controller settings are now split into both left and right hands, whereas before they were symmetrical. But arms and hands aren't always identically symmetrical, so why should the options be? Lastly, we are introducing a toggle called alternative handling. A while ago, we had a large update to the game in which we updated our Unity engine version. This had many impacts to several areas, and one of the largest was how controller settings, and even their default positions, worked. There was a lot of work to accomplish across a very large set of controller types, but I'm happy to share that this toggle mimics the legacy functionality before that update. We know this has been a pain point for many top players of the game, and we really hope this will help out. Please let us know what you think, and if there's anything we can tweak, please let us know on our socials. Metallica is not the only thing we've released since our last dev block now, is it? In November, we launched our long-awaited sequel to our first ever DLC pack for the game, bringing to you all Monstercat Mixtape 2. We were so excited to partner with our friends at Monstercat to bring you this mixtape and a banger playlist with names like Alan Walker, Excision, Own Boss, and Sullivan King, but also some community favorites like Temanite, Tokyo Machine, Pegboard Nerds, and Nitro Fun. It's amazing to welcome these popular artists back in the game once again. The music pack came with a brand new environment, including new tech, including ferrofluid and screen spectrograms. The pack introduced some highly challenging levels, some of the hardest in the entire game, including Accelerate, Final Boss, and Dabba 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 Dabba? You've been asking if we're planning to remaster the original Monstercat Music Pack Volume 1 that launched 5 years ago. Time flies so fast, right? The answer to that is absolutely. This workstream is planned for next year, and we will keep you posted with more information. I wonder how overkill we could go with arcs and chains. We actually have a surprise guest for this episode. I'm excited to invite Gavin Johnson, Director of Sync and Partnerships at Monstercat, into the Bloq to talk to us a bit about the pack. Hey Gavin, it's amazing to have you here. The team had a blast working on the pack, and we hope you had fun playing it. We have some questions we'd love to ask you.
Of course. Thanks, Josh. It's an honor to be on the Bloq.
How does it feel to have another music pack in Beat Saber? After we launched the very first music pack back in 2019 together, these are strong memories.
It feels amazing. We have so many great memories of putting together the original music pack with songs that have now become classics within the Beat Saber community. Still, many more memories were made during the development of Mixtape 2, and we've been so happy to see the community welcoming Monstercat and its artists back to Beat Saber.
As you could see, we had a lot of fun with the Monstercat cat in the game, making it a centerpiece of the environment, from headbanging to Thrones of Blood to having a health bar in Final Boss. What was it like to see the Monstercat personified in the game?
The Monstercat is so iconic, and it was incredible to see the cat brought to life in such a unique way through the advancement of Beat Saber's tech since our last music pack. I've watched countless videos in the community playing the pack and hearing the comments of content creators headbanging with the Monstercat and even talking to it when it's doing all the unique actions within each level. Massive props to everyone at the Beat Games team bringing it to life.
Monstercat is pretty big on gaming. How do you approach music recommendations for collaborations with games?
Yeah, so for our approach with music recommendations for game collaborations, we curate alongside the developer and publisher to provide the most impactful experience possible in-game for players. We do this by finding the right balance of what we feel resonates best with the game's players and their musical taste, what will fit best with the gameplay, and what music will meet the needs of the developers and their goals. A great example of this in practice, which came together with Dabba 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 by Excision and Dion Timmer, where we put forward a brand new, unreleased song that had clear indicators that it was going to resonate both with the players and make for a genuinely impactful gameplay. It turns out it'd be a massive hit amongst the community, and I've loved watching all the videos of players trying to FC it.
What's your favorite song from the music pack, and which level have you enjoyed the most?
Of course, all the levels are incredible, and I can't pick favorites, but one that stood out to me personally was Endgame by Boss Fight. I felt it really maximized the use of all the available assets in production available for this mixtape, from the slow-mo effects, the arrangement of the shapes, pillars, and lighting effects as the song transitioned through each switch up. It really raised the bar and made the Monstercat look like an epic endgame boss fight.
We have a lot of players excited to explore more music from Monstercat. Where can they find more?
Yeah, so you can always check out our Monstercat Uncaged, Instinct, and Silk playlists on music platforms to keep up with all the heaters our artists are putting out. Of course, I would love to hear the community's recommendations for even more music to feature in Beat Saber. So if you got them, please drop them in the comment section. I'm looking forward to checking those out.
So good. Thank you so much for your time, Gavin, and for the team to allow us to bring this to our players. I'd like to now share that we are working on a future feature we are calling the Light Parser, which will allow all Lightshows to work on all environments. This was actually the case back before we introduced our new group lighting system and has been impossible to do since. But we have been working on a tool that converts any light show to working on any environment, past and future. Here's a small sneak peek showing Memory Bank from Monstercat Mixtape 2 working on some older environments. Thanks so much for the submissions of your questions, feedback and such across our socials and the last dev blocks. We do take notice and we've picked out a few more questions for us to answer in this time. Let's head over to some community questions. We've seen a lot of people pointing out to us if we're going to bring back more One Saber levels. We're definitely aware that One Saber levels are popular among our players, not just for the fun of an additional mode, but even for accessibility purposes. Right now, our main challenge with this is simply time. We have more One Saber levels planned for the future, but we're not able to share an exact ETA just yet. I would expect them to drop as a huge addition across the whole game, similar to the last few times we've managed to do so. Another question here is, the new score modifiers have been in the game for quite a while, but they are still in beta. Will these modifiers eventually get a score modifier attached to them? Great question. And the answer is a bit different than you'd expect. We actually have a new modifier system in development which omits the score modification. We can't share too much more than that right now, but do keep an eye out on future updates surrounding this. Another question we've seen is people having issues launching the game on MetaQuest. The game is stuck at the beginning and loads infinitely. What can I do? We've heard some of these cases coming in and we've found a reinstall has helped. Please reinstall the game and try to launch it again. Don't worry, your game data won't be lost. We are still actively monitoring this though, so please let us know on socials if you're still encountering issues. What a year it has been. We kicked it off strong with one of the most requested bands we ever had, Daft Punk. What an honor it was to both feature and work alongside them. It brought live music to the game for the first time with Lightshows inspired by their very own live shows. Even introducing to the game our first ever song over 10 minutes. Right around the corner, we hit you with Hip Hop Mixtape, celebrating hip hop's 50th anniversary. In it, we took on one of our biggest challenges ever, uncensored music. It wasn't just a new barrier for Beat Saber to cross, but mainstream music games as a whole. I'm so incredibly proud of the team and all involved to make that one a reality. It was not easy. Here's hoping it pioneers more such challenges. Middle of the year, we hit with Original Soundtrack 7, showcasing our new reflection and mask lighting tech, debuting artists into our game for the first time such as Fool and Temanite. Our community helped birth our first real lore as well, imbuing the chevron as the Master. Do you really think the Master is defeated so easily though? And just around the corner, we brought forth the Princess of Pop, Britney Spears herself. You better believe how much of a kick the team gets out of seeing you all dance and sing your hearts out to that pack. We got our butts into gear and got around to the second Monstercat release. Third if you've been paying attention. Monstercat was our first ever DLC release and holds a special place in Beat Saber's history. The level designers truly outdid themselves on those Lightshows, and we have to thank the Monstercat team for trusting us to actually personalize the Monstercat into the game. So freaking cool. You can expect remasters of the original pack at some point also. Ending 2024 with the biggest pack we have ever accomplished, Metallica. The enormous runtime means you're all gonna get shredded while shredding those blocks, I tell ya. More than 500 bugs fixed this year, controller profiles, editor enhancements like custom keybinds, note color overrides, fixing of the nice environment, announcements of the upcoming light passer and difficulty rating systems, 64 new songs, 320 new beat maps, over 300,000 new blocks to hit. 2024 has been our biggest, best year we have ever had, and we couldn't have done it without all your love and support. It means the world to us and to me. On a more somber note, I actually have an announcement to make. Joining the team at just 5 people strong and starting off with the task of mapping Boom Kitty's Rum and Bass for a new difficulty level we were introducing called Expert Plus. Now 6 years later, creating more than 400 beat maps and 100 light shows for the game, I'm announcing my departure from Beat Games and Beat Saber. Over these past years, I have been given the opportunity of a lifetime to work alongside some of the most talented and passionate individuals I've ever met. I've learned an incredible amount of things that I will take on with me into the future. Ultimately though, it's not the team or even the game I have to truly thank, it's you, the community. I may sound like a broken record for saying that so much, but it's absolutely true. For some context, I'm not part of Beat Games because I applied for some open position. I'm not part of them because I was working on a game elsewhere and moved over. In fact, this is the first game I've ever worked on. No, one day I picked up a little game called Beat Saber and loved it so much I wanted more. I quickly found this community that was starting to grow faster and faster by the day. I helped design tools to be able to create new experiences and created many video tutorials to inspire and help others jump in to create their own experiences for this incredible game. The devs took notice of some of the work I was doing and picked me up as a contractor to make some beat maps. My hobby literally became my career. 6 years later, I am proud to be your game director. Every choice, every decision, every single beat map I've been a part of has always been through a filter of somehow paying back to our community, because I simply wouldn't be here without you at all. Even most of the level designers for the game have been hired from the same community, and I'd bet share the same sentiment. There's many exciting things to look forward to in Beat Saber's future. My voice may be gone from this channel, but I'll be there alongside you all for each release because there's truly some banger stuff coming up. You are all what keeps our game alive. It's been an exhilarating time. For me, it's simply time to move on to new projects. Please keep on slashing. On behalf of the whole team, we would like to wish you happy holidays full of rest, exciting experiences, and people and games that you love. We cannot thank you enough for your love and support through the years. Beat Saber would not be the same without any of you. And as always, don't forget to share your feedback, thoughts and questions with us. We read all of them. This is your Game Director Freak, signing off for the last time. knows? Maybe I'll have time now to finally make those environment tutorials.